By 2030, New York is tearing itself apart, not because of disaster, not because of crisis, but by choice. Buildings that defined the skyline for decades are being erased, replaced by something bigger, heavier, more aggressive. And the people making these decisions aren't asking for permission. Nearly 30 massive projects are already in motion. 5 of them could permanently change what New York looks like, not in concept, not on paper, right now. And here's the part most people miss. This isn't expansion, it's replacement. And once it starts, it doesn't slow down. Let's start with the most brazen decision of all. JPMorgan Chase had a perfectly functional headquarters, 270 Park Avenue, one of the most recognized buildings in Manhattan. They didn't renovate it. They didn't expand it. They erased it completely. It became the tallest skyscraper ever voluntarily demolished, a record nobody wanted. And that should tell you something. Because when a city is willing to destroy its own icons, it's not just evolving, it's resetting. And what replaced it? Designed by Foster Plus Partners. 423 meters tall, 60 floors, space for 14,000 employees. New York's largest all-electric skyscraper, net zero emissions, powered entirely by hydroelectric energy. Sounds perfect. But here's what's underneath that decision. To get approval, JPMorgan had to spend $40 million, not on the building, on the city, a public plaza, because in Manhattan, height isn't free. It comes with a cost. And not everyone agrees it's worth paying. The structure is already rising above the skyline. This one is happening, whether people like it or not. Now, Tower 5th, 474 meters, one of the tallest towers ever proposed in the city. And it doesn't try to blend in. It challenges everything around it, especially its location. Right next to St. Patrick's Cathedral, and that's where things start to break. From the lobby, you're staring directly at the cathedral. From the street, the tower dominates it. Some call that contrast, others call it disrespect. But here's the real question. Who decides what belongs in New York? The design only adds more tension, a narrow base, rising sharply upward, almost unstable, like it's daring the skyline to reject it. And yet, there's one feature designed to change everything. The sky of the Americas, a glass platform, 442 meters above the ground. For a second, you imagine standing there, nothing beneath your feet, except air, and suddenly, it's not just a view anymore, it's a decision, because that moment is exactly what this building is selling. Still, the resistance hasn't gone away, and it won't. So the real outcome? It's not decided yet. Then there's 175 Park Avenue, and this one doesn't scream for attention, which makes it more dangerous, because quiet projects tend to change things the most. It sits next to Grand Central, right beside the Chrysler Building, one of the most iconic structures in the world. And here's the part nobody wants to admit. This isn't just construction, it's competition. The Chrysler Building was never designed to be overshadowed, but this tower will do exactly that. Taller, wider, more dominant in every single photo. And that's not accidental. That's design, to make space for it. The Hyatt Grand Central Hotel disappears. Another piece of history. Gone. And here's the uncomfortable truth. Every time New York builds something new, it sacrifices something old. The question is, How much is too much? Now, Affirmation Tower. This one feels different, and not in a subtle way. Over 500 meters tall, 5 stacked sections, each expanding outward as it rises, almost like the building is growing. Instead of just being built, but what makes it stand out isn't the height, it's the intention. This is the only project on this list that wasn't designed just to dominate the skyline. It was designed to mean something: public spaces, community areas, cultural significance, an observation deck meant to be shared, not sold. For the first time, a skyscraper that feels like it belongs to people, not just corporations. And that changes the conversation. But here's the problem. It's not guaranteed, still conceptual, still waiting. And that's frustrating, because the one project trying to give something back might never happen. Finally, 15 Penn Plaza, part of something much bigger. The Penn District, 8 new skyscrapers, a complete reset of one of the busiest areas in Manhattan. And to make that happen, the Hotel Pennsylvania is being erased. A building that stood for over a century. Gone. And the reaction? Exactly what you'd expect. Anger, nostalgia, resistance, and then silence. Because in New York, that's how it always ends. What replaces it? Glass, modern, precise, 27 green terraces. A cleaner version of the future. Completion target. And when everything around it is finished, the area near the Empire State Building won't look the same. Not even close. Here's what no one talks about. New York has always done this. The buildings people fight to protect today were once the buildings people fought against. The Chrysler Building, the World Trade Center, even One World Trade. Every generation redraws the skyline. Then the next generation erases it again. So by 2030, some of these towers will stand, others will stall. A few may never happen at all, but the shift is already happening. And here's the real question. When you replace enough of the old city to build the new one, at what point does it stop being New York?